Hello and welcome to Mace Crochet. I am Rachel. Okay, so for today's video, I've tried two other things. One is going to take far longer than I anticipated. The other one, I thought I might have had it, but I did not. It did not turn out great, so I'm going to post these things later, but I have to come back to them because I'm fed up to here. It is Monday morning, not for much longer, so I'm like, well, what can I do for today? And I have decided to tell you the 5 things that I will never ever do as a crocheter while I crochet. So, everybody else does it, I will too. Okay, so the first thing I will never do as a crocheter is judge anyone for not having the same sort of craft room aesthetics that a lot of people see online. That doesn't mean a lot of people have it. It just means that's what a lot of people see online, because people who create content want to give that impression that they have this whole setup and this is, their space and everything. And I understand that. I love my craft room. If I did not do this every single day, this would not be a craft room. No. I don't know what it would be. I don't know where I would keep my stuff. I mean, I wouldn't even have as much stuff if I didn't do this every day, that's for sure. But you don't need all of this. No, it's not necessary. Especially if you're just a casual crocheter or crafter in any right, but none of this is necessary. I am very fortunate and very privileged that I have a room that I can dedicate all of this to, not to mention fill it with stuff and try to make it as cute as possible. I know sometimes it's a damn mess, but so am I. So, yeah. If you are just working on your sofa or in your bed or a recliner or whatever, that's fine. I've done that too. Many, many, many years. In fact, I think I've only had this space for 3 years, maybe 4 years. I'm not entirely sure. But I mean, all you need to crochet is a hook and yarn. That's it. And time. Good luck with that. That's the big one, right? But you don't need all of this, and you're not less than because you don't have it. So I absolutely do not judge anyone who does not have the wonderful, pretty background and everything that so many people like to show off. Now, if you have all that, great. A lot of those people probably spent, like me, many years curating that the way it is. They didn't just decide, hey, I'm going to crochet, and then went out and bought all the stuff before they even bothered trying out the craft. It's probably taken years to get to where they are, and good for them. When I started working with yarn, I was actually loom knitting, and it's when we lived in Texas in a very small apartment, not the smallest apartment, but a small apartment for a family of 4. And I had my looms and my yarn all stuffed in a box, and I would just sit on my bed and play on my phone or watch something on my phone while loom knitting every single night, just about, maybe on the couch, but usually in the bed before my husband came to bed. And I mean, that's where I started. And if I didn't have all this, it'd still be okay. I'd still be a crocheter. Again, yarn and hook, that's all you need. So if you don't have the setup that you see so many people have, it's okay. It's fine. You are not less than. Again, I have to push that. You are not less than. Number 2, I will never, ever tell you you're doing it wrong. Okay? I learned how to crochet off a YouTube video with nobody standing over my shoulder correcting me. I was laying in a hospital bed post-surgery. It was fine. Wasn't a big deal, but I did have to spend the night in the hospital. And I'm like, well, this is it. This is the time. I took a hook and a ball of yarn, and I'm like, it's time. I am learning now. I'm just laying here, not doing anything. Let's figure this out. It was terrible, but eventually I got to where I am significantly better and really proud of the stuff I make. Well, okay, let's go back. Like I said before, I started my yarn journey, my fiber arts journey, in loom knitting about almost 10 years ago now. And I wanted to crochet at first, and I bought a little kit at Walmart, and it had, a few hooks in a book with some easy projects, and I got some yarn, and I literally could not figure it out from the instructions in the book. It was supposed to be beginner friendly, step by step. I could not figure it out. It didn't make any sense. So I'm like, okay, cool, YouTube. The YouTube videos I pulled up, I mean, I got so confused as well. It's the tension. That's what I have trouble with, is, the people who wrap all around. I can't do that. But at the time I thought because I couldn't do that, I couldn't do it, period. As you will notice, this is how I do it. I don't keep it wrapped around my fingers or anything. Maybe that's not the right way that your grandmother taught you how to do it, but it's how I do it. And I've done pretty okay for myself. It's taken some time to get the tension, but I think no matter what, it's going to take some time to get the tension consistent. So I don't feel like how I do it is wrong. And if you do it completely differently in a way that's not traditional, as long as you get the end result you're looking for, you're not doing it wrong. And I'm not gonna call you out either. I've seen people who do all of this like one-sided. I don't know how they do it. No clue, but they can wrap the yarn and the hook all with one hand and just hold over here. I've seen people with only one hand do it. I mean, they have a machine to help that, like something to hold everything with, but then they wrap the yarn and pull through with the one hand that they have. There's no wrong way to do it as long as you're getting your end result. Obviously there are errors and mistakes, but everybody makes those, and that's part of it. So I will never, ever, ever tell you you're doing it wrong. Now, this is a big one that everybody should not be doing as a crocheter, crafter of any sort, and that is stealing and sharing patterns. Obviously, I don't know why it needs to be said, but apparently there has been some discourse online about it. There was a really big problem last year around this time, well, somewhere in there, where a younger crocheter took a very well-known crocheter's blanket pattern, and it was a free blanket pattern on her website, but because it's a free pattern on the website, there are ads, you know, it becomes hard to read. But she also had it for sale, but this person didn't want to pay for it. So this person was having trouble reading the pattern, and she took the whole thing and put it in a Word document or a Google Doc or something to be able to read it herself more clearly. She was claiming ADD or ADHD or something like that. I don't really recall, but then she got online and said she would share it with everyone. So even though it's a free pattern, it was driving traffic away from the creator's website, where she probably gets revenue for ads and everything. And there was a big kerfuffle. A lot of people went after the pattern maker for being, I mean, it was ageism and sexism. It was really gross and just embarrassing all around. But these younger people acted like they were entitled to this for some reason. God, I sound so old, but it does seem to be an issue with people feeling entitled to free patterns when there are a plethora of free patterns out there, but in exchange you are going to have to deal with ads or things like that that maybe you wouldn't have to if you paid for the pattern. I won't be doing that. I have had people in my comments whenever I make something in a video that is from a pattern that I pay for, asking me how I did a certain thing in that. If I say I bought this pattern from so-and-so, I will link it below, but I will not, absolutely will not give any sort of instruction or direction on what is in that pattern, because that is not, even though I bought it, it is not my intellectual property, and I will not share it. I'll tell you where you can get it. If you can't afford it, I'm really sorry. I understand. I get it. I've been there. But then you save up or you ask for it for Christmas. Just send a link to someone and say, hey, I want this, and then they can pay for it. I don't know. I know I'm coming from a place of privilege when I say this, but at the same time, don't be a thief, okay? I won't be, and I hope none of you will be either. There's plenty of free stuff out there if you just look for it. Plenty of free tutorials on YouTube and other places. It's so wrong to steal people's patterns and hard work. I can't imagine. Yeah, please don't do that. All right, next, number 4, kind of piggybacking off number 3, but in the opposite direction. I will not gatekeep. Now, I'm not going to tell you something from a pattern that I paid for that is somebody else's, intellectual property, like I just said. However, if there are tips and tricks that I have picked up over the years that I've learned from other people, but it's been so long or I've seen it in multiple places, then I will tell you exactly what I know. And if I can remember who I learned it from, I will tell you or link to wherever I learned it from. But if it's not like a necessary pattern thing, something that is behind a paywall, then I will share it the best I can. I'm not going to be like, oh, well, if you don't know, I want everybody who wants to be a part of this craft to enjoy this craft. I don't care how diluted this community becomes with more and more people. Now, of course, I say that as someone who doesn't market what I make as well. I just make YouTube videos and then I make whatever I want. I don't sell any of this. It's either for me or it's a gift. So I can understand people who are trying to make money from this, either at markets or a website. But I do feel like the more the merrier. I really do. And so whoever wants to be in this community, again, you just need a hook and yarn, and I will share whatever tips and tricks I have learned over the years. And if I can remember where I learned them, I will absolutely pay it forward and make sure that especially if there's like a tutorial video out there, like on my blue flower blanket that has blown up recently, from last summer, actually. I've had multiple people in the comments ask me how I join my granny squares, and it's a flat slip stitch in the back loop. And I learned that from Tony at TL Yarncraft. So every time somebody asks me, I make sure to put that link in the comments so they can learn too, because it is a fantastic way that I enjoy joining granny squares, and I use it all the time. And I do mean all the time. So yeah, things like that. I want everybody to know, because I want everybody to have a good time and enjoy this and make things that make them happy and have fun and not get frustrated because you can't figure out how to do something. So if I know how to do it, I will spread the word. I will share it. Not gatekeeping at all. So number 5, last one, final one. It circles back to the first one where I talked about, the craft room aesthetics and nobody's less than. This is probably like the big kahuna, the biggest thing I see discourse over in the fiber arts community when it comes to crochet and knitting. And that is, of course, acrylic yarn. I will never judge anybody for using acrylic yarn. Never. Honestly, this is probably the thing that pisses me off the most, is how judgmental people are of others for using acrylic yarn. If you don't want to use it, 100% fine. Don't use it. Okay? Don't shit on other people for using it. Of course, some of it is a budgetary issue. If someone's just now picking up a hook or needles and they don't want to spend $30 on a small hank of pure wool, obviously they don't want to do that because they don't know if this is a thing they're going to like or not. Acrylic really is the best option. Cotton can be very expensive. I mean, even crappy cotton can be far more expensive than acrylic. And then there are people who are like, well, acrylic just feels terrible. Acrylic comes in all kinds of forms. I have felt some incredibly soft acrylic. And guess what? Sometimes wool or cotton can be itchy and scratchy and just nasty. I don't care that they're 100% natural. They can feel like crap. But I think the biggest problem for me when it comes to the acrylic discourse are people who use the environment as their scapegoat. I was on Threads. I got to stay off social media like that, like X, Threads, Blue Sky, all that stuff, because people just piss me off. And somebody had commented or made some sort of thing about, oh, the cool weather's coming up soon. I can't wait to start making more hats and everything, but wool only or something like that. And people are like, yeah, I know. When I see someone in an acrylic hat, I just want to yell at them, don't you know you're wearing plastic? It's so bad for the environment. Really? Captain Planet, like, are you a zero or low waste household when it comes to literally anything else? Or do you just want to be an elitist asshole and make it seem like you care about the planet when you really just want to judge others for the type of yarn they use? Yeah, I'm going to assume it's the second one, because I guarantee these people are not that eco-friendly in every aspect of their life. Just their hobby that they want to look down on other people for not having the same resources they do. So yeah, which is another big thing, accessibility. I mean, I can't walk into Walmart and buy wool yarn. Michael's has very little. Most of it has to come from online. And a lot of people like to feel what they're working with before they work with it, So just don't be a jerk. I do not care what you use. I don't care if you refuse to use a certain thing. That's fine. Just don't be a jerk to people who do. It's not nice. And yeah, that is it. Those are the 5 things I will never do as a crocheter. And I hope you don't either. So just fair warning, I have a lot of stuff I would like to get done in October. I've been doing some pre-recording, and so that's why this video is kind of weird and short. It's not just because I've had a couple of failed attempts at other things this past week. It's because I'm trying to put a lot of attention and time toward October. So next week's video will be kind of same, pretty short and short little project, actually next 2 weeks. And then it'll be my movie blanket wrap-up video for September, and then we'll get into October. And if you're wondering what I'm working on, tune in October 16th to see the rest of this. But that's all for this video. Thank you so much for watching and letting me complain. I just needed something quick, and I've had this one at the back of my mind for a while, but today was the day, I guess. Like, comment, subscribe, all the YouTube things, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!